division algae, where we have discussed that algae has been divided into three classes, that is Chlorophyceae, that was green colored algae, next Phaeophyceae, it was brown algae, and the Rhodophyceae, it was red algae, according to their predominant photosynthetic pigment. Now we are going to discuss about the next division, that is Bryophytes. So students, here they are the mostly terrestrial plants, means mostly they found on lands. The next, they are also called the plant amphibians. So why are they called the plant amphibians? Because they are depend on external fertilization to the water. That's why they are called the plant amphibians, means they need water as well as land. Now it includes approximately 960 genera and 24,000 species. So students, if I talk about the roots, so in Bryophytes, true roots are absent. As you can see in this picture, these are not the true roots, they are called the rhizoids. So they act as root, means they help into anchor the plant with roots. Other than this, they also work as root also. Like if you take the example of root, what is the actually quality of root? It helps to anchor the plant with soil, and another quality of roots, it absorbs the water and minerals from the soil. So same is happened in rhizoids. Rhizoids help to Bryophytes to anchor with the soil, and it also helps in the absorption of soil and mineral. But there are many plant Bryophytes, like if we take the example of liverworts. So here rhizoids will be unicellular. We can take the example of liverworts. As you can see the structure in Marchantia, here rhizoids are unicellular. But there are mosses in which it can be multicellular. So here we can take the example of Funaria, that we will discuss in later in mosses. Now vascular tissues. So here vascular tissues are absent. Like what is the role of vascular tissue? So it helps in the transportation of water and minerals to the plant. So here what happens in Bryophytes? Written vascular tissues are absent. So the now question is, if vascular tissues are absent, so who will help in the transportation of water and minerals other than its food to for the transportation to the plants? So as vascular tissue is important for the taller plants, because there they need to reach the all the transport materials like water, minerals and food to the taller area. But because of that, here vascular tissues are absent, the plants do not grow very tall. So here rhizoids only help to absorb the water and minerals from the plant, and there are some small cells or thick walled cells are present which helps in the transportation of minerals to the plant. But if we talk about some mosses, so they have a conducting stream of a few thick walled cell is present. So these thick walled cells help to transportation of water and minerals to the plants in mosses. So students, here we have discussed about the structure and characteristics of the Bryophytes. What we have seen, that they are mostly terrestrial plants. Next, they are also called the amphibians. Why? Because external here fertilization takes place only in water. So because of that, they need land as well as water for their life cycle. Here it includes approximately 960 genera and 24,000 species. Other than this, if we talk about the Bryophytes, so they grow in shady and moist places like damp rock, logs, in hilly regions. So they grow these kind of places. Now there are many Bryophytes who show little body differentiation, like leafy plant body, as we can take the example of mosses. Here Funaria. So Funaria has a leafy plant body. Here little bit of body differentiation takes place. But there are many examples where the body is thalloid, means there is no body differentiation. As we can take the example of rhizia. Here you can see the body is thalloid and there is no any body differentiation. The next, true roots are absent. So here rhizoids are present and they play a role of roots. As there are, if we take the example of liverworts, so here rhizoids will be unicellular and they absorb the water and minerals from the soil and transport it into the plants. But if we take the example of mosses, here rhizoids will be multicellular. Other than this, here vascular tissues are absent. So because of that, the plants do not grow very tall.
No more spending your energy and money on coaching classes or missing classes for rain, for rally and any other nonsense. Subjects covered by multiple teachers with repeat telecasts. Doubts, concepts, applications, no problem. All explained through great and significant animation. So sit back comfortably in your home and watch Study Spectrum TV channel.
Reproduction in bryophytes. So if you talk about the reproduction, so bryophytes also reproduces by three methods. One is vegetative means, next is asexual reproduction and another one is sexual reproduction. So if I talk about vegetative means, so what happens in vegetative kind of reproduction? Here the part of the body breaks and give rise to a new individual. So vegetative means will be a fragmentation, and here in bryophytes it happens with the help of gyma and tubers. So students, if you see the structure of Marchantia, so you can see these are the gyma cups. These parts are called the gyma cups or tubers. So what happens? Sometimes these cups breaks down from the plant body, and when they get the favorable conditions like damp soil and proper nutrition, they can give rise to a new individual. So this is all about the how the bryophytes reproduce by the vegetative part of their plant. Now the next is asexual reproduction. So what happens in asexual reproduction? Here new individuals are born from the single parents. So what happens in bryophytes? Here also spore formation takes place. So what happens? Spores are released from the, what happens? Spores are releases from the reproductive part of plant body. Reproductive part, and these spores will give rise to a new individual. So in asexual reproduction, spores are formed and these spores releases from these reproductive part and they can give rise to a new individual. So it is all about the asexual reproduction. Now if I talk about the sexual reproduction, so what happens in sexual reproduction? Here fusion of male and female gamete will take place. So as if I talk about bryophytes, so bryophytes come in the category of cryptogamy, means there will be no seed formation. So because of that there will be no flower and no seeds. So how sexual reproduction will take place? So what happens, students? Here in bryophytes the plant body is called the gametophyte. So gameto means gamete. Phyte means plant. So here these gametophyte will release the gametes. As if you take the example of Marchantia. So here it is archigoniophore. So this is a female Marchantia. This is a female part body. This is called the archigoniophore. And here a male Marchantia plant, here reproductive part is Anthocerotophyta. So these actually, the bryophytes are gametophyte, means they are gameto means gametes and phyte means plant. Means they have its plant body in itself releases the gametes without any flower or seeds. As we also know that these are the amphibians, it means for fertilization they need water. So what happens here? As if you see, the male gamete will be called the antherozoid. The male gamete will be motile and biflagellated. Biflagellated means two flagella will be present. And it will be motile and gametophyte releases in many numbers. And from where? The sex organ of this plant will be antheridium. The sex organ is antheridium. So this is about the male plant body. Now if I talk about the female plant body, so it is archegoniophore and it releases egg. The egg will be one and non-motile. So these are the gametes which releases from the sex organ of the plant. As it is a gametophyte, so plant will be haploid. Now what would happen? So as if I talk about the bryophytes, so they shows the alternation of generation, and we also know they need water for the fertilization. So the gametophyte, this is a mature new plant and it is a mature gametophyte plant. So the male part body will release the male gamete, and this male gamete has to reach the female gamete, as the female gamete is non-motile. So how this male gamete will reach to the female body? It can be reaches through a water. So they need a medium that will be water. So this male gamete will be reached to the female gamete. So the female gamete will be at the female gametophyte. So the reproduction always will take place at the female plant. Here reproduction will be takes place at the female plant body. So the male gamete through water will reach to the female part, and here they will be fused and form the zygote. This zygote will multicellularly divided and will form the sporophyte. So, and this sporophyte will be releases the spores, and this spores will again germinate to the new plant that will be a gametophyte, that will be a mature plant. So as I told you that bryophyte shows the alternation of generation. It means here half part of the plant body will be gametophyte and it will be haploid, green, and it will be independent phase. So the main mature plant body will be gametophyte and it will be haploid, green and independent. Now if I talk about the sporophytes, so the zygote will again multicellularly divided and will form the sporophyte. So if I talk about the sporophyte like zygote, what is zygote? Zygote will be a diploid stage. Why? Because they form with the fusion of male and female gamete. So because of that, what will happen? Zygote will be a diploid. As we all know that zygote is always a diploid stage. So this zygote will be again multicellularly divide and will form the sporophyte. So this sporophyte is a very short-lived period in bryophytes. So this will the sporophyte will be diploid, recessive and partially dependent on the gametophyte. Means it will take its nutrition from the gametophyte. It will be a recessive stage and after some time it will be shed down from the plant body and will releases the spores, and these spores will be again germinate to a new plant body. So it is all about the bryophytes life cycle. So because of that, this shows the alternation of generation, and this is a heteromorphic succession of alternation of generation. So here what we have seen, like bryophytes reproduces by three methods. Vegetative means by asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So what happens in vegetative means here a part of the plant body will breaks, and thus that procedure is called the fragmentation and will give rise to a new individual. And that part of plant body will be a gyma or tubers. So you can see this cup-like structure is called a gyma. Now in asexual reproduction, it will releases the spores, and this spores will be form a new individual. So here only single parent body will participate in the process of reproduction, and they will form here spore formation will take place, and these spores will give rise to a new individual. But what happens in sexual reproduction? Here it can be happen, maybe both the reproductive part as male or female can be present on same plant, or it can be present on different plant. As we have taken the example of Marchantia. Here you can see that female reproductive part is at separate plant and a male reproductive part is at the separate plant. So how the fusion will take place? Through medium of water. So what would happen? A male gamete, that is a motile biflagellated, through water will reach to the female part body, and there they will fuse and will form the zygote, and this zygote will again divide and will form the sporophyte, and this sporophyte will be diploid, recessive and partially dependent on the gametophyte. And after that, this sporophyte will release the spores, and this spores will again germinate to the gametophyte mature plant that will be a haploid in nature. So this is all about the reproductive cycle in bryophytes.